Now wrapping up the day. Unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Are young people.
We broadcast the Harmony Symphony.
Welcome to the economy today. And of course, it's always a session of sharing the things that have to do with our economy as it affects, I use the word, the common man. But then, of course, it will affect everybody that is alive. And so this day, we want to take a look at some of the things we'll find in there, talking about our usual market trends, and we would also share some of the things we'll find in some pages of the newspaper before we go into our discussion today. Welcome again. I am Okechukwu Onugbo. We have seen that the products that we have, that is especially food produce, the farm produce, the things that we have been going for, the price of the, or do we say prices now, of all these products keeps, keeps in the sense that when I say the price, and keep when I say prices, now keep going high and getting to be what we refer to as skyrocketing. We really wonder where our nation will be going to if we continue this way. But then, some people had some beautiful solutions that could help make this thing better. Especially the chairman of the fish market, Kado Fish Market. He proffered solutions that will help a whole lot in saying that farm produce in Nigeria gets better and it reaches the common man in the best of forms. And so we want to take what we have there as a report on that particular thing. We visited 2 markets this time. We got to the Kado Fish Market as well as the Gwarimpa market. And it's just all what has to do with the foodstuffs that we did get. Listen and watch rather to see what we have in that one today.
A clarion call has been made on the government to take a holistic look into the management and disbursement of funds meant for agriculture, particularly as it affects the production and distribution of farm produce. The chairman of the Kado Fish Market Traders Association, Ibrahim Mohammed, proffered valid solutions that could deal a death blow on the problem of food scarcity in Nigeria.
Tomato, fish, chicken, meat, onion, Irish potato, name it, everything has gone up. A kilogram of fish today is as high, depending on the type of fish you want to buy. Even the one we rear locally, like the catfish, has gone up. A kilogram of catfish today is about 3,500. The least you can get it is 3,000 naira. Not to talk of the normal Titus that we buy. That those days when we are growing up, we say Titus is for the Titus or ice fish, as it's being called, is for the poor. But today ice fish is for the rich. Ice fish, a kilogram of ice fish now at the carton price is almost 4,500. That means those women who buy from us and take it to their various shops to sell cannot sell it less than 5,000 naira. Cost of transportation, cost of NEPA and other logistics being added to it. So it is high. The government should do something about it. The government should do something about it. How? They should look inward. We know, as a leader in the market and also a leader in the state, we know that governments are pumping money into agriculture. But the issue is the money getting to the farmers? No, it's not. The money is going into the wrong hands again. We have what we call the bourgeois in the agricultural sectors. They are the people who carry the briefcase about. They go to the bank, pick up the money that was meant for the local farmers, and they use it, not minding whether the masses are suffering. You take millions of loans from Bank of Agriculture, Bank of Industry, CBN, in the names that you are going to farming. But at the end of the day, that money does not go to farming. What do they do with the money? Only God can tell. But if government can go down, look for the cooperatives, look for the associations of various associations in the various sectors that you want to deal with, especially now that we are having you come for agricultural center, you look for cooperatives who are doing farming, who are involved in rice production, who are involved in tomato production, who are involved in onion production, who are involved in fishery, who are involved in poultry. You look for those cooperatives and the various associations in them, give them money and tag the money to the unions, to the executives of those unions. You will see that there will be a massive improvement in terms of agriculture and food will come down.
Other traders in the market who spoke to the economy today made valuable contributions.
White beans. I have white beans, I have honey beans, I have akara and moi moi beans. Like these white beans now, mudu now is 3.3. Before it's been sold for 2,300 or even less. Now honey beans now is being sold for 3.5. Before we were selling it at the price of 2.5, 2.6. Likewise the moi moi beans now is now 2,900. Before it was, we do buy it for the at the rate of 2,100 per mudu. And the prices of these items, they keep on adding on every market days. Also the corn, I have corn here, the uncooked corn. The prices has added before. Now before it was 900, but now it's being sold for 1.6 per mudu. Then this millet, some people call it joro or doro. Before it was 900, now it's 1,600. Likewise the guinea corn, it was 900 per mudu before, but now per mudu is 1,600. So even bag of flour, before we normally buy it at the rate of 45,000, but now a bag of flour is 55, 56,000. So foodstuffs have really added money.
This money they say me no go see gain for inside. Everything don't cost well. You support help for this government. You support help people. People they die too much. Every day people they die. See, but you support help people. Now only government they enjoy this life. Oh, poor man know they enjoy. That is why. See this midway, see this small meat is 350,000. How go money go come on? Me might go find my own to chop. See, but it's no good like that. We support help people. So, 6,000 before they sell 1,400 naira. Now it's 6,000. This government.
At the Gwarimpa market, traders in other food items had more to say on the solution, irrespective of expressing helplessness at the arbitrary increase in price of the commodities they sell.
Last month we are buying this fish 1,000, but this month we are selling it now 115 because the price, the carton price, we are buying it 60 to 50 before, but now it's 75, 70. These are very expensive. That's why we are selling it 115 now. This size. Before we are selling this size 1,800, we can still sell it. So now things are very expensive. Look at this ugu now. This one we are selling it 100 naira before, but now it's 200. People are suffering. We are here every day. People are coming to beg for gari, beg for this, beg for that. Begging us for gari to even soak and drink. People are hungry. People are suffering.
I stay in Abuja, municipal area council. I dey selling tomatoes, pepper, onions, and green beans and other things. But now the thing is too expensive. Even for my hand. Before I find the things for my hand, I travel. Then yesterday I went to Nasarawa State. I bought tomatoes. One basket, small one basket. I bought it 150,000. Before now 20,000 we bought it. but now the two is expensive. Even me, I don't know how to selling it. See this small basket of tomatoes, it's 20,000 for my hand. So how I go sell the tomatoes? If I say 22,000, because if reach my place, I told him the price. Just he run. Oh, he see me like I want cheating him. The thing is too expensive. See that even one piece like this reach 500. One piece like this. Before this one is, if I give this one for 50 naira, I don't cheat you. But this one, I don't know where we go for this expensive life, because everything, every day, everything they increase, no go come down. So now we continue to pray for the things come down.
Customers in this market unequivocally expressed disgust over the exorbitant and unmitigated increase in cost of produce. They also called for the reintroduction of price control board in our markets and for commodities in general.
The prices are outrageous. Like now, I'm just trying to buy this tatashe now, and they're telling me that one piece of this tatashe, like this, is 500. Like this, I just asked him, and he said 500. So that's why you saw me standing here and staring. So I think it's something that the government needs to work on, because sometimes they say that the dollar is high and everything, but even when the dollar goes down, they don't bring the prices of things down. So I think it's something that even if the dollar is going down, it's something the government has to send people to make sure the prices of these things go down as well. So like, okay, how many people can afford to buy this? If this one is one piece and you want like to cook in a large quantity, how many are you going to buy?
No, it's nothing to write home about. Look at my list. I cannot finish what is there. The money is, and I know how much I came to this market with. I cannot look. It's still remaining. I've not bought so many things here. Things are, I don't know where we are going to. Honestly, it's too much. Something you buy 1,000 maybe yesterday. If you come today, it's 3,000 naira. You buy few items. You'll be looking whether you lost money. Look at the bag I'm carrying. Nothing inside. And the huge amount that I came with, gone. So it's too much. I don't know where we are heading to. Nigerian government should change hand. They should change government. They are killing us. Nigerian government are killing us. They are not helping matters. Thank you.
Things are quite expensive, like very, very expensive. Double what we buy before. Like I got tomatoes of 2,000 naira. It's just looking as if I bought tomatoes of 300 naira. It's very, very expensive, and at least we'll survive. We just have to survive. We'll keep pushing. I wouldn't know, maybe the economy, the way things are going up, people are complaining. Sometimes they say dollar came down, still things are still increasing. But hopefully we are praying things come down, even with the minimum wage that the labor people are working towards. Hopefully we are praying that things come down gradually, because things are becoming unbearable for Nigerians because of how expensive things are. But we are hoping things will come down.
The cost of living is extremely high, and I think we are managing well from February, March and all that, but recently everything has gone so high that you can't even afford. The rich are crying, the poor are crying more and more. From small baskets, from small buckets of tomato from 7,000 is now 16, 17,000. Even there are some market they are selling 20,000 and all that. So the whole thing is so crazy. We can't deal with such thing. I think most importantly, we need to find out what the agriculture sector are saying, what it is the main reason for not cultivating such things to bring it out to the masses to buy. So it's from the production and from the farm. I think that's where government needs to look into. Do you understand? So if they can be able to produce it, to cultivate it and bring down to the market, and fuel is adding to the prices, because once they bring it out, they bring it out in a cheaper rate in the transportation. Yes, I think they are not the ones to eat it. The masses will be able to afford it and buy. If there is no fear, I think farmers will be able to walk freely inside their farm to be able to harvest whatever they have planted at a due time. Once they have fear to go there, that's why we're having scarcity of food.
They also called for the reintroduction of price control board in our markets and for commodities in general.
I'll keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is...
Well, you did hear, I'm still going to talk about that some more, the chairman of that association, that Marketers Association at Kado Fish Market, proffering beautiful solutions that we pray that the people in authority will listen to and work with, so as to ensure that the price of food items will be brought down the way it ought to be, and to also ensure that the production happens to have a free flow, so that we can have more food on the table. This is just a major thing that has to do with that. Looking at the things he suggested, I want to take a bit of it to say, like talking about the banks giving loans to the agricultural loans to people who are truly the farmers themselves, who are truly the workers themselves, who are truly the people that need this money, and not to other people that will be referred to as middlemen here, and who will do something else with the money and just make use of or utilize just a bit of it. This is one of the things that we know we have in the country as a problem. Let the right people look into what they have and what they're supposed to do, and let it follow the right route through which it should go, so that we'll find better results. Then we also found out that while the buyers were talking, one also stressed the fact that there is need for us to bring back the price control board. If this will help so that we'll have a better economy, I mean, what stops it from happening? In actual fact, many years back, I know that people who were born about 20 years back or even 30 wouldn't understand what price control board means, or even 40. But then people who are much older understand that the price control board is what will help to ensure that we'll get to have products at the price that it's supposed to be everywhere, not just getting to have arbitrary increase in prices and so on and so forth. Well, we'll still go on. We'll share this a lot more as we go on the program. But right now, I want to say, let's observe just a little break, and we'll return to look into what we have from some of our newspapers that said things on the economy, after which we'll still go on for more talks.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Are young people.
We propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira back is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching, and join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News.
All states and across all countries. Showing daily on Startimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us on our social media handles.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that this general not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at
KAFTAN TV News.
In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning, the Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on Startimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us on our social media handles.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
The love for good sporting games. We all love good sport.
The joy of winning. The pain of losing. Intense analysis.
Passionate debates.
Here on Sports Gist, we talk about everything happening in the world of sports.
Football,
tennis,
local games,
sporting exercise. Live every weekday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
on KAFTAN TV.
We predict, analyze, evaluate, and celebrate sports here on Sports Gist.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that this general not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN
p.m.
TV News.
good to have you back. At a time like this, we will look at some of the stories that we have on newspapers that have to do with what concerns our economy. And so this day, I want to begin with Nigerian Tribune. There is a story just above the masthead on Nigerian Tribune that has to do with the economy. And it says, Federal Government Afrexim Bank seal $3.5 billion deal for textile industry CNG vehicles. Others. Talking about that, the agreement between the federal government and the Afrexim Bank over that deal that has taken a while now, but thank God it has been sealed, for $3.5 billion for textile industry, which we will want to mention as we go on the program this day. Then the CNG vehicles, long awaited, and other things. We also have still in that front page, Nigeria spends $600 million annually on palm oil importation. That is from the Tribune. Nigeria spends $600 million annually on palm oil importation. Wonder. We'll still be talking, but for now, let me just finish with this. How it will be that the palm oil that, in actual fact, began from Nigeria has now become what this same country, Nigeria, will spend millions of dollars to import. Well, I'll look at the Sun newspaper, and from the front page of the Sun newspaper, just underneath the headlines, we have a story from Enugu State, Governor Peter Mba's interview. Governor Peter Mba, we are primed to grow Enugu to be among 3 strongest economies, regain its preeminent position. We are primed to grow Enugu to be among 3 strongest economies, regain its preeminent position. This is quoting the Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State. That's a good one. We hope it will happen soon so that the economy on that side would also get to be improved and worked on for better. That is the story we have from them there in Enugu State. We would also look at another one, and this time is from Business Day. Business Day has its own story that oil buyers shift to electric vehicles, threatens Nigeria petrodollars. Oil buyers shift to electric vehicles, threatens Nigeria petrodollar. You know, this has to do with the fact that the electric vehicles be made available, and as a result, when we get to have them, the things have to do with petroleum products would suffer definitely. But then let's see, because there are so many vehicles we already have that are operating on the petroleum product. So it would threaten, but I don't believe it will cause a problem. It will only help to enhance the economy of the nation as a whole. That's the way I see it, but I will find out how some others will also see it. And may I let you know that as we begin from the next week, that we will start with other parts of this program, like the stock market and all that. So please do bear with us as we come in bit by bit until we perfect it all, even on this program. Now, I want to announce the guest that I have on the program today. He has been my colleague and a regular guest on this particular program. I'm talking about John Okoro. He is here with me today, and we'll put heads together to talk about these things that have happened in the newspapers. And someone said something. He said that sensuality, high transport costs responsible for tomato price surge. That is what someone that is an expert says, that seasonality rather and high transport costs are responsible for tomato price surge at a time like this in this country. I don't know if you agree with this expert that says that it is seasonality and high transport costs that has made the tomato that everybody used to have go so high that it's almost out of the reach of the ordinary man.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Yes.
Well, yes, we have had a lot about what may have been the reason or reasons the nation is experiencing huge shortage of tomatoes in the market. Well, so if the person says that it is about seasons, we've also seen seasons come and seasons go. And, we have our supply. Or if it's also transport, we also understand that because of the removal of the subsidy, there's been this hike in transportation that has also affected other things. But I've also listened to other people, other experts. Sometime, I think, sometime last week, I think the president of the Tomato Traders Association, somewhere around the Lagos axis, talked about disease, some kind of disease that has actually affected tomatoes across the country, the belts where the tomato beds, where the produce, where the crop is planted in some parts of the country, especially in some parts of northern Nigeria. You know, it happened at the time. I think around 2016, we had a similar situation, and then it was called tomato Ebola. That there was this kind of disease that actually affected tomatoes, and in many parts of the country, especially in the areas where tomatoes are planted, that a lot of the crops died. You know, a lot of them died, and because of that, you have this shortage. So I think I may tend to believe that because people have been asking this question: what is going on? What is going on? Tomato. I know tomato is something that is very, very important. For us, it's a staple crop, it's a staple vegetable that we use to make our staple stew. Nigeria, it's all about, seasons, like the season that just ended, the Salah holiday, people had to cook stews and everything to eat their rice, their white rice and everything, the gravy and everything. It's all about tomato, it's about pepper, and the two of them, both pepper, fresh pepper and tomato, have also been affected. So it's a serious issue. I believe that it might not last for so long. Though I don't know how long it's going to last, because this is not the first time we've experienced a thing like this. But after a while, when the farmers must have recouped and in some of the places where the crop is planted, I know they do all year farming, irrigation and everything. I'm sure that after some time, the matter will be over. Yes, we've seen things like this before, but not in this proportion. Magnitude, this particular proportion is totally, out of it. It's something else. We've never seen a thing like this before, whereby, a paint bucket, which is about, I think it's a 4-liter paint bucket, with some of the tomatoes put above on top, the level. Above the level. Then you're talking about 10,000. It's a thing that ordinarily 800, 600, you can buy them, from the people who sell them in the market. But today, talking about it, 10,000, 8,000 for this. Yes, so it's unprecedented.
Yes, it is. From our report, the waste can that we normally bucket that we normally have,
the popular bucket.
Yes, the popular waste bucket, trash bucket rather, is one that they say now that the price of tomatoes in it is 20,000 naira. Yes. Then one of the traders said that you could also go for 22,000.
That's true.
But that the least you can find when you're looking for it is 18,000. That's almost and 3 times what it used to be.
The one that they will sell for 18,000
You may have some spoiled ones.
Spoiled one, the one they call the Bajet tomatoes will be there. I know people have also resorted to going for the dry type, which again is not cheap anymore. I know the law of demand and supply. Now that the demand for the dry tomato is very high, naturally the price
would
go
also
up.
go high.
That's exactly what is happening at the moment. But you know, Nigerians are already used to these problems. So somehow, somewhere, we just find a way to survive. Find a way. Somebody could just put tomato like 4 pieces. One, you say, I bought 1 tomato for this amount, and you'll be wondering whether it is true. But it's a fact. It is a fact.
We also saw in our report where one of the buyers picked up just one, the one that is referred to as tatache, the pepper.
The pepper, yeah.
Yes, she picked one and said that it is that it now goes for 500 naira. 500 naira. In actual fact, the seller said that that particular tatache that has gone for 500 naira now, that by this time last year, it used to go for that if it had gone for 50 naira, if he had sold that one for 50 naira, that he must have made so much gain out of it.
As of last year.
Yes, last year, about this time last year. But right now, that particular one that was sold at 50 naira is 500 naira.
That's a fact. That's true.
And so we're asking, what is happening to our money? What's happening to the naira? Well, that leads me to the next thing, because there's a story that someone also mentioned. They said, more naira, less value, as inflation erodes 7.6 trillion naira consumer spending. Now, consumer spending as a result of inflation has eroded 7.6 trillion naira. And that's why they're saying that even when there is more naira, there will be less value of the naira. And you know, this takes us to that one where they say there should be more money paid workers and all that. And now we're told that when there is more naira, there will be less value. Well, I don't know if you have anything to say about that before I ask the next thing we will talk about. Because this naira, if it gets devalued further than it has already been, I wonder where we will be. I wonder where this nation will be and the people, because as it affects farm produce mainly. So a farmer could get to the market with his or her products and get to the market and get to have a whole lot of money, about 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 120 or 200,000 naira, but comes home to find that this money can buy next to nothing for him.
Yes, it's all about the economy and the quality of the economy. When the economy is import dependent and a lot of our infrastructure is also lacking, is going to be a very huge challenge for that particular country. But if we can look inward as people and also as government with policies that would support local production and also fix some of this infrastructure, fix the utilities like power, like refineries, where you have the refineries working again, and the domestic supply of fuel is at least okay to take care of our domestic need. Then you also have the power sector working optimally. You know, at this point in time, there will be no need for some of these things that are happening in the country today, because we have a lot of production, you have a lot of goods flooding the market, you have the farmers going back to their farms, and all the problem of insecurity is solved. Farmers return to their farm. You also have people investing seriously and heavily in agricultural inputs in terms of personnel, in terms of access to land, and also in terms of equipment. And then once this is done, you could see that the economy will be reflated. Instead of being inflated, it will be reflated. And the money will now come back, and the naira will bounce back, and now will now have value. Because if the way it is today, you have 100,000 naira and you go to the market, the 100,000 naira is not good. Even if you say, assuming that you are able to buy a bag of rice, what else can you buy with that money? Basically nothing, because of the devaluation of the naira and because of the spiraling inflation, especially food inflation. And people always ask, why do you now have the food inflation? Why we have the food inflation is simply because farmers are not producing. Yeah. We don't have enough food. If you have enough food in the market, and normally know what government, part of the thing that governments around the world do to at least curb food inflation is by going back to the national grain reserves. Yes. The silos that are supposed to be, storing huge millions of metric tons of grains of food of all types. So at a time like this, when you have food inflation, government floods the market with products from the national grain reserve, thereby automatically bringing that. Because by the time you say, okay, we go to the market, you have, a lot of grains and food from different government silos all over the place. And you say, oh, you are selling the mudu of rice, so amount of money. And government say, okay, mudu of rice is going to be sold at the rate of 800 naira. Everybody will go to that place, and other people will now be forced to bring down the price of their own. But today, I don't know what is happening to our grain reserve. I don't know what's going to happen.
The question now is whether we even have such things any longer, because talking about insecurity, talking about the fact that last year traders or farmers hardly went to the farm, and 2 years back, I wonder whether we still have any reserves anywhere. Excuse me. Whether we still have any reserves anywhere, because of the fact that I remember that under Goodluck Jonathan, something like this was about to happen, and he gave order and instruction that the products are released generally, and it helped to bring down the cost of these things. Here, do we still have it? Please, let's observe a break for a while. We'll return.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people repurpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira back is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people repurpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira back is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more.
Good to have you back again. Nigeria spends $600 million annually on palm oil importation. This is the country from where countries like Malaysia and those Asian tigers collected palm nuts or palm fruits, if you like, to get to their own homes plant. Today, Nigeria is importing palm oil from these countries that came here to learn what has to do with the production of palm oil. What is wrong with our nation? John Okoro is still here with me. What do you say about this?
It's,
600 million, not just 6 million, but $600 million annually to import palm oil.
It is totally abnormal. It's totally abnormal, if I may say that. Knowing our potential as a nation, our agricultural potential, it's not just about only palm oil. I'm talking about agricultural potential across the whole value chain of our agriculture. You also know that pre-independence, that the mainstay of Nigeria's economy was agriculture. The days of the cocoa house, you know, one of the first high-rising buildings in Nigeria was erected in Ibadan, just called Cocoa House, is still there today. You also know that even then, in other parts of the country in the north, we had the granite pyramids in Kano. We also had hides and skin leather
from
in the north. You know, well established industry in the north because of the level and the volume of livestock in the country. So we could actually produce huge leather, you know, exporting them to different parts of the world. And if you now go to the southern part of the country, then you talk about this palm oil, you talk about cassava, you talk about so many other products then. But once in 1956, when oil was discovered in Nigeria in commercial quantities, and then the very first export of this oil in 1958, it seemed that rather than the oil becoming a blessing, it has now turned to something else. I don't want to use a particular word, but it's turned to something else. Because it's like we just abandoned. You remember what happened in the first 10 years of independence in the 70s, where you have what they call the oil boom, where it was said that in Nigeria has so much money that it didn't even know what to do with it. You know, and look at it, 50, 55, 60 years down the line, here we are grappling with all sort of problems.
You know, then at that time, Nigerians were being pleaded with to come to Britain and to other countries without visa. They would just beg them to just come over.
Look at it. I was in a ride, you know, with someone from Japan. He told me that, do I know, or you know, that's as big or as prosperous and developed that Japan is, that just 25% of Japan has land mass. The rest is water. He said that if Japan has the kind of land mass that Nigeria has, that Japan will be so far away that no country on earth will see the back of Japan in terms of development. That this country is so blessed. You know, do you know that in a place like Nasarawa State, do you know that the place is so fertile in terms of agriculture that there's nothing you can put right there in the soil that will not germinate and give you something of great yields?
The yam that comes from Nasarawa is among the best in the world.
You know, but but today nobody cares. What we are grappling with is simply, farmers, just managing to survive. Subsistence farming. That's what we're managing with today in the country.
Well,
and look at the impact.
We believe that, we keep believing anyway, that we'll have a better tomorrow. But I must say, that tomorrow that gets better was worked on today so that it will be better. And that's why I keep mentioning the Asian Tigers. They had a vision for a better tomorrow. They came, collected our palm produce, and went home, worked on it, and made it better. That's why today we still have the agric palms that you don't need to climb to tap the wine from it, or get the oil from it, or the palm nuts from it, because it's on the ground. I wonder why we can't have it everywhere. In actual fact, so that not just only talking about doing it in the southeast, but every home, every family, or at least one out of every 2 or 3 families will have that palm tree in their compound, so as to help get these things done. As people will always say that this is not rocket science, this is what we can start doing. From local governments, let the local governments do something. Let the states do theirs, and let the federal government do something. Let's ensure that these basic things that have to do with agricultural products are put in perfect place, and we will have all as we're supposed to have them in the country, or as we have had them in the past. Well, I must say that it's been good doing this with you, John. And time will never be enough for you to exhaust all that you have. But then we'll always be glad to have you come around and share with us on this program. Thank you so much for all of this. And we will not take it for granted.
Thank you.
I hope you'll be here again, John.
By the grace of God.
Thank you so much. Well, dear viewer, it's at this point that we'll conclude what we've got for you today. And we want to say that if you can do something, if you can start a farm at the back of your house, you must have helped a lot in getting down the cost of farm produce in the market. Because if you do not go, you will use the one you have behind your house, and that way it helps. I've got a farm in my own compound. What about you? Thank you so much for being part of it. Okechukwu here saying, we'll talk again on Friday.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people, we purpose the harmony.